Hi, Tracy Baker here for Baker Gets Cooking. Today we're going to make oven roasted tomato sauce. Now I love to make this tomato sauce in the fall when my tomatoes are coming off the vine. It's a great way to use up a large amount of tomatoes if you can't keep up with them. And it's lovely to have this in the freezer in the middle of winter to pull out, put over some pasta with some nice Parmesan cheese, and it takes you right back to the fall of the year when the tomatoes are fresh and coming off the vine. It tastes so awesome. The flavor is very deep and so full of flavor, and it's so easy to do. So let's get started. So I have a very large glass baking dish here. This is a 15 by 10 inch baking dish, and I like to use it because it's important to use a large pan because you want all of the vegetables kind of basically in one layer, and that helps them to brown, and the browning in the oven makes for a very flavorful pasta dish. My oven is preheating to 375 degrees, and I've cut up, quartered, about 8 cups of fresh tomatoes. These are mostly plum tomatoes. You can use whatever fresh tomato you have. It's important to use the very best tasting, good quality tomatoes. So if you don't have a garden and you don't grow your own, go to the farmer's market and buy some tomatoes from the local farmers, because they'll be as good as the ones that you can grow in your garden. So that just goes all in the pan. Now it looks like a lot, but the volume will reduce as we cook them. And then I have about a cup of roughly chopped onion, and that goes right on top there. And then 4 whole cloves of peeled garlic, that goes in. And then we need about a teaspoon of salt, and that just gets, this is sea salt without any iodine. It's don't use the iodized. I don't like the taste that the iodized salt gives to food. It kind of gives it a metallic-y kind of fake taste. So I like to use sea salt. And a half a cup of olive oil goes right in there over the top. And half a cup of good quality red wine. So a wine that you would drink, that's what you need to cook with. Don't cook with anything that tastes so bad that you wouldn't drink it. It needs to be good quality. So half a cup of wine goes right in there. You don't have to use the red wine, but the flavor will be better if you do, and all of the alcohol will be cooked off by the time this pasta sauce is done. There will be no alcohol, and what will be left is the flavor, and it just kind of adds to another layer in that depth of flavor that you're trying to achieve with this. So I recommend to put it in. I have a teaspoon of hot pepper flakes. Now, if you're cooking for children, you could adjust the flavor and not put so many in, but my kids are kind of, over the years they've kind of developed a taste for hot food, so they like it spicy now. So a teaspoon is going to make this quite spicy. And then the last ingredient is just a little bit of sugar. Now we put sugar in, many tomato dishes call for sugar, and that's because tomatoes are acidic. They have a very acidy flavor. And to balance the acid flavor, you need something sweet. So the sugar kind of helps to balance the flavor so that it's not quite so acidic. So that just goes right in there. A teaspoon of sugar. And that's it. We're just going to toss this together, and it's going to go into a 375 degree oven for 1 hour. And then we're going to take it out, and I'll show you what it looks like then. So I've just taken our pasta sauce out of the oven, and it's smoking hot. The tomatoes have, the skins have blistered and turned a nice dark brown, and there's lots of caramelization of the juices around the outside of the pan, and that's exactly what you want. And I want to put those brown bits back into the sauce. So just with a regular fork, I'm just going to scrape around the sides. I'm just kind of going to mash them a little bit and then scrape the sides off. And those brown bits will come right off. And they They will make your pasta sauce taste delicious. Okay, and just go right around the pan, and that looks great. So then the next step that we have to do while it's pretty hot is to, this is pretty high-tech stuff, with a potato masher. You just want to squish down the tomatoes and the onions and the garlic. And everything is very soft and squishes down really nicely. So you just want to do that. And just make sure you squish all the garlic into little bits so that you don't get a huge chunk of garlic. That looks great. So I'm just going to let that cool for a little bit, and then I'll show you how to put it on top of pasta and how I freeze it. So it's got to cool down a little bit because it's really, really hot. So we'll just give it maybe 20 minutes to half an hour. While my sauce has been cooling, I have boiled some pasta in plenty of salted water, and it's drained in the sink here. And I'm just going to finish up and show you how just what I do to serve this dish. So it's common in North America to add the sauce to the pasta. But what Italians do is they add the pasta to the sauce and cook it a little bit. And the pasta is like a sponge, and it absorbs all that lovely, lovely flavor. And you get a much deeper flavored, better tasting dish in the end. So just going to finish up. Now I'm only cooking a bit of pasta here for 2 people, so the recipe will have what the serving is for a family of 4 or 4 to 6. So I'm just going to scoop, a couple, maybe a cup of sauce into my pan. And then I'm going to put that on a fairly high heat. And I'm going to put my pasta right on top. And I'm just going to stir, and I'm going to cook it with the sauce. Now, if you think your sauce is a little bit too dry, just reserve a little bit of pasta water like I have. So you see it's kind of milky, and that's the starch in it. And it's nice and salty, and it has good flavor. So I'm just going to put that right on top. That was about, half a cup of pasta water. And I'm just going to cook it. And you want to cook it on fairly high heat for 3 to 5 minutes. And all that pasta sauce will just it will go right into the pasta. So you just want to cook that a little bit, stirring occasionally till most of the liquid is absorbed. I've got some nice Italian parsley here, and I'm just going to chop a little bit of it up to finish off my sauce. And you just need a rough chop. It doesn't need to be real fine. It smells lovely. I'm just going to put that right on top. You could put, if you had some fresh basil, you could put basil in here. You could put thyme or rosemary, whatever you like. So that looks like it's just about done. And I'm going to just turn the heat off now. Most of my sauce is absorbed, and the pasta has changed color, so I know that it's soaked up some of that sauce because it's changed color. And I'm just going to put it right into my bowl. That looks, whoops. I always seem to make a mess. So I'm just going to show you how I like to serve this pasta. I'm going to have a taste of it too. So I like freshly grated, good quality hard cheese. This happens to be Grana Padano. You could use Parmesan or Romano, or any kind of hard cheese is fine. So just a generous grating of that, and it melts almost immediately. And I like a little bit of freshly ground pepper. And if you like, you can just drizzle a little bit of olive oil over the top. And that's it. Can't wait to taste this. This looks so good. And it's screaming hot. It's just delicious. My family loves this dish. I love having it in my freezer in the middle of winter. I like to freeze it in yogurt containers. So there's like this is a cup and a half, no. This is about a 2-cup container. So 2 to 3 cups will do a family of 4 to 6. I've left the skins in the sauce. If you have a fussy family, you can just wait till it cools down and then pick the skins out. My guys don't seem to mind it, and it's a lot of extra work. So I think if you use really good tomatoes, they don't notice so much that there's skin in there. I hope your family likes this as much as mine. Hope you try the recipe. The recipe will be in the link to my blog underneath the video. Please subscribe and comment, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.